The upcoming release of Hyper Light Breaker has ignited a complex mix of excitement, apprehension, and disappointment within the community. Many acknowledge the presence of the original's pixel art elements within this 3D rendition, praising the visual effects for attacks, items, and overall aesthetics, finding them very interesting. There is enthusiasm for a new interpretation of the IP, with some expressing high hopes after having loved Hyper Light Drifter. However, a significant portion of the commentary reveals a sense of letdown. The shift to a 3D procedurally generated open world, especially with co-op, deviates greatly from the anticipated follow-up to Hyper Light Drifter's isometric handcrafted design. Many long for another game in the vein of the original, lamenting the absence of its distinctive 2D pixel art style and a meticulously crafted world. There is a sense that the unique aesthetic that made the original so special is lost in translation. Concerns arise about how procedural generation might impact the exploration aspect that was so valued in the first game. Players fear the feeling of discovery, tied to its limited but expansive feeling and beautiful world, may not translate well to randomly generated terrain. Some hope the core world-building elements will remain in a hub-like area. The story and setting too spark questions regarding where this game fits into the Hyper Light universe. Many mistakenly believe the story would be a continuation of the first game, not a prequel or parallel story. Comparisons to other games, both positive and negative, are frequent. The game is compared to the likes of Risk of Rain 2, Dauntless, Fortnite, Phantom Dust, and even mobile open-world games, leading to further concerns about its unique identity. The cel-shaded art style has resulted in comparisons to Fortnite. The combat also comes under scrutiny, with some mentioning a static quality to the animations and a lack of satisfying impact in melee combat, with hopes these elements will be improved during the early access period. The need for a diversity of weapons and skills is also voiced, as well as the hope the game isn't a generic Fortnite-like experience. The soundtrack is also a concern, with many hoping for a return of Disaster Piece's music from the original. The new direction and the lack of his emblematic style is a point of worry. There's also discussion regarding the game's multiplayer aspects, with both enthusiasm for the co-op feature and concerns about server dependencies and optimal player counts. The player count has also been called into question. Despite the negative criticism from some, many are still looking forward to playing the game as franchise fans. There's a palpable desire for the game to succeed, even if it's not the sequel many had imagined. The hope for the early access period to address issues is voiced repeatedly. There are also calls for console release dates. Finally, some acknowledge the game's visual design elements, such as the hooded red panda, raccoon, cat character. In summary, while some embrace the new direction, the prevailing sentiment is one of caution mixed with hope. The shift in style and gameplay raises questions about whether Hyper Light Breaker can recapture the magic of its predecessor or will become another generic experience. The success of Hyper Light Breaker will hinge on its ability to retain the spirit of Hyper Light while forging its own identity.